What's up everyone, and welcome to another installment of our Buying for Beginners series. This time we're focusing on the cold-blooded Lizardmen. And taking you through today will be me, Max the Chiefs and Hurley, and like all our other Buying for Beginner videos, we'll be focusing on 3 competitive army lists and explaining the best value for money options for the units in each of those lists. Like this game from the previous Buying for Beginners, most of the Lizardmen collection have survived the transition from Fantasy to Age of Sigmar in the form of the Seraphon, with most of the block units and start collecting boxes being available from independent stockists, but the more esoteric units are unfortunately direct only still, so I have a mix and match of prices. Now on to the main event. I'm going to go through some of the competitive army lists and take you through exactly what you need to buy for each unit or character and give you the best cost I could find for each of them. The first list is going to be 1500 points, the second will be 2000, and the final one will be a Triple Crown Wargaming event standard 2500 point list. In each one I'll try to keep as many of the units and characters the same, so that you can slowly build up your Lizardmen force and not end up with units sitting in a case gathering dust by the end of it. The 1500 point list I've got with me today consists of a level 4 Slann Mage-Preist, who is also our BSB, on the Law of High Magic with a Scroll of Shielding and the focus of Mystery Discipline of the Old Ones. A level 1 Skink Priest on the Law of Beasts with a Dispel Scroll. 19 Saurus Warriors with full command, armed with hand weapons and shields. 2 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers with Blowpipes. A Bastiladon with a solar engine. 16 Temple Guard with full command with their standard halberds. And an Ancient Stegadon equipped with Sharpened horns for 1498 points in total. So where are your best value options for this list? Starting off with our Lord, and no Lizard army is complete without a Mega Frog, so we have a Slann Mage-Preist. As will be a recurring feature for a lot of the characters in the Lizard army, this is a direct only for GW in the form of Slann Starmaster at the price of £32.50. We'll move swiftly on to the smaller Lizard Wizard with the Skink Priest. Now we decided to go for the newer plastic variant of Skink Priest from GW. It isn't direct only. You can pick up one of these fellas from Boards and Swords Hobbies for £13.50. Although if you're looking for a model that has a classic look to it, GW still sell the Skink Priest with a feathered cloak, which is obviously the Cloak of Feathers, for a cheaper price of £12. So there is some variety in your choice. Now with the characters done, we'll move into the cold-blooded core of the army with the 19 Saurus Warriors for our ranked core choice. Now weirdly enough, this is the only ranked unit that is direct only from GW, so we are locked in with that with a price of £25. But luckily enough, the box contains 20 Saurus, so one box is enough for this list. The second and third core choices are the same and are 2 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers. Now these aren't direct only from GW, so you can pick up a box of these amphibian boys for £20.25 from Boards and Swords Hobbies, and like the Saurus, one box contains 20 figures, so one box is enough. Out of the core and into the special, and no Slann worth his grubs is complete without his Temple Guard. So we have 16 Temple Guard. Now I know 16 is a weird number, but if you put your Slann in the unit, his base will increase the footprint of the unit to 20. Annoyingly enough, the box that GW makes only has 15 Temple Guard in it, so unless you have a friend that has one spare Temple Guard model, you're going to have to buy 2 boxes of them, which isn't too bad, as you'll see later on. You can also pick up the boxes from Boards and Swords Hobbies again at £31.50 a box for a combined total of £63. Now trundling up behind everything is the Bastiladon with a solar engine. Again, this is another direct only from GW, so it has a set price of £35. Not so nice. Finally, onto the rare and final unit in the army, we have an Ancient Stegadon with Sharpened horns, which is another monster that is direct only at a set price of £37.50. Sigh. That's a big sigh for everyone at home. And that's our first list done, with a combined price off the bat of £225.25. And that's if you went with a cheaper Skink Priest and 2 boxes of Temple Guard. Now that may seem steep for a 1500 point list, but there are methods in the madness here. You have an abundance of Temple Guard that will easily be transferable to our other lists in a bit, and you'll only need the 1 Bastiladon throughout today's video. And don't worry, we'll be making a few savings later on as well. This, at the end of the day, gives a very competitive list at 1500 points and one large stepping stone for the rest of the armies. So next up, I'm going to be looking at a 2,000 point list. This one contains a level 4 Slann Mage-Preist, who is our BSB again, on the Law of High Magic, with Channeling Staff, and the Focus of Mystery, Harmonic Convergence, and Solar Stone Disciplines of the Old Ones. A level 1 Skink Priest on the Law of Beasts with a Dispel scroll again. A Saurus Scar Veteran with Light Armor, the Crown of Command, and the Enchanted Shield. 25 Saurus Warriors with full command and sword and shield for equipment. 3 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers armed with Blowpipes. A Bastiladon with a solar engine. 23 Temple Guard with full command. 3 Pterodon Riders armed with Lustrian Javelins. And 1 Ancient Stegadon with Sharpened Horns, coming in at 1998 points. Now, there is very little you need to purchase to increase the first list to 2,000 points. We already have our Slann Mage-Preist, our Skink Priest, all of our Temple Guard, assuming that you bought the 2 boxes of Temple Guard, 20 of our Skink Skirmishers, 20 of our Saurus Warriors, and our Bastiladon and Ancient Stegadon, which leaves the only things left to buy in this list are our Scar Veteran, the Pterodon Riders, 5 more Saurus, and 10 more Skink Skirmishers. Now, this is where the savings that I was talking about come into effect, with the Start Collecting Skinks box from GW. This box contains a Skink Priest, 10 Skink Skirmishers, 3 Pterodon Riders, and a Bastiladon, all of which are used in our 2,000 point army. This box also is handily available from Boards and Swords Hobbies at a discounted price of £54. So with this Start Collecting box, to get to the 30 skinks that we need, you would have to buy another box of skinks at the previously mentioned price of £20.25 from Boards and Swords Hobbies. The other additions would be 5 more Saurus Warriors. It seems like overkill to buy another box of Warriors purely for 5 models, but as with the Temple Guard earlier, these extra models will be used later on in the last army. So another box of Saurus for £25 direct from GW. Lastly, we need our Saurus Scar Veteran, which GW still sells, albeit as a direct only, for only £10. Named as a Saurus Old Blood, but it'll serve our purpose. Not much more there. So that's all you need to grow the 1,500 points list to 2,000 points, and that will take the price of everything up to just £267.25 if you go to Start Collecting Skink box, compared to the £290.50 if you bought everything separately. So a lovely little saving of £23.25, which is nice to see. Now we move into our final list at, as we said, a Triple Crown standard of 2,500 points. We start off, as usual, with the level 4 Slann Mage-Preist, who is our BSB again and with the standard of Discipline this time. On the Law of High Magic, equipped with the Channeling Staff, Becalming Cogitations, Focus of Mystery, Harmonic Convergence, and the Solar Stone Disciplines of the Old Ones. A level 1 Skink Priest on the Law of Beast with a Dispel scroll. Another level 1 Skink Priest on the Law of Heavens with a Cube of Darkness. A Saurus Scar Veteran with Light Armor, the Crown of Command, and the Enchanted Shield. 35 Saurus Warriors with full command with swords and shields. 3 units of 10 Skink Skirmishers, a Bastiladon with a solar engine. 3 Pterodon Riders with Lustrian Javelins. 22 Temple Guard with full command. And lastly, 2 Ancient Stegadons with Sharpened Horns, for a combined total of 2,499 points. So there is less new stuff to buy to upgrade to the 2,500 point mark, and it's just doubling up on 2 things that we already have, the Ancient Stegadon and another Skink Priest. The large unit of Saurus Warriors you should already have if you picked up the second box of Saurus for the 2,000 point list, and we have everything else from our Wizard Frog and his pet dinosaurs. Moving back to the additions we need to get, and the first is an additional Skink Priest. Now, assuming you bought the cheaper one earlier, we might want a bit of variety in our army. So we may as well go for the newer plastic Skink Priest, as discussed earlier, which you can pick up from Boards and Swords Hobbies for £13.50. Although you can also go for the same model as before for a slightly cheaper price of £12. And lastly is another Ancient Stegadon, direct only from GW again, and at £37.50. Not much we can do there, unfortunately. And that's all you need to get the final list in today's video. With the 2 extra additions for our 2,500 point army, and assuming you took the variety option in the Skink Priest's choice, the total for all 3 lists with a savings from the Start Collecting box in the second list is £318.25, which is not bad at all for an army that has 3 large dino monsters and 2 large bricks of dino men. Now there is also some variety in list building, as you can increase the size of the Saurus unit by 5 and the Temple Guard by 8 more models as you have some spares, allowing for 2 potentially large hordes of Lizardmen that can go toe to toe with a lot of other infantry units. These lists and prices are nothing to be sniffed at in my opinion. A small note of caution for any fantasy army is the bases. You'll need to source these separately, as all of the models are supplied with incorrect base sizes or shapes for Warhammer Fantasy. I have found the best Games Workshop equivalent bases are from Tiny Worlds Wargaming. They all come with a slot on the underside of the base to make magnetizing them really simple, and they also sell magnets and movement trays so you can get everything you need in one place. At £3.99 for 20 20mm square bases, or £14.99 for 100 20mm square bases for the Skink units, or the exact same for 25mm bases for your Saurus units, and you can choose to have either with or without slots. They are good value for money. You have to have a look at the larger base sizes for the larger models, which will include 40mm for your Pterodons, a 50mm for your Slann, and 100 by 50mm for your Bastiladon and Stegadons. The 40s and 50s come in packs of 5 or 25 if you go for the larger amounts at the same price respectively for the smaller bases, £3.99 and £14.99. And the 100 by 50s come in packs of 2 or 10, again at the same price. If you were to go down that route, and if you buy the bases from Tiny Worlds Wargaming, then you would need 40 20mm squares, 60 25mm squares, 5 50mm squares, 5 40mm squares, and 4 100 by 50mm squares. Now you may notice we are getting more bases than we actually need, but the packs that Tiny Worlds sell only come in packs of 20s, 5s, and 2s respectively, so we'll have some spares. All of those bases would come at £35.91, bringing the grand total of your 2,500 point army to £354.16. A very respectable price tag for a very competitive army list. Now, after all this, we are certainly not saying that these lists are the only ways to play Lizardmen. If you don't like your Lizard Wizards, you can go down the path of the pure Dino Monster Mash, where you can have a Saurus Old Blood on a Carnosaur, leading more Carnosaurs in the hero slot, and other dinos in your special and rare slots, backed up by hordes of Saurus and Temple Guard, which is a personal favourite method of running my lizards, as it's just really fun. Or you could go with a Skink Cloud, with more Skink Skirmishers than your opponent can count, backed up by some special characters like Teto Echo or Tehenowin, and the larger crocs that are the Croxigore. These are all certainly builds that you could be looking at, but we feel the lists we went through today are the most competitive at the selected points levels. I hope today's snippet has helped you understand what I believe are the best choices for a competitive Lizardmen army, and hopefully it's shown you little ways to save a bit of money too. If you've got any suggestions you think we missed, or if you want to know what we would use for certain units that are no longer available from Games Workshop, head over to any of our socials at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or email us directly. All the links for which are below, and we'll do our best to help you out. Join us next time for another installment in our Buy for Beginners series, where we'll look at one of the other armies of the Warhammer world, or head back to the Knights of the Realm mustering grounds, where you can find links to all of our other exclusive content.
Remember to tag your friends and like, subscribe, and share today. What are you doing, mate?
I'm sharing.
It's not that sort of sharing, mate.
Oh.
Head over to triplecrownwargaming.com and become a Knight of the Realm today.